Welcome everyone. We have the NECA Sesame Street Ultimate Ernie and Bert. Very interesting times for people who are into Sesame Street. I don't know if the people that own Sesame Street have done some kind of merchandising push, but we've gotten a lot of Super 7 figures from Sesame Street over the past year, and now it seems NECA is getting involved and they're going to be producing their own more or less Ultimates line, which you would think Super 7 would be doing that since they have the reaction line. So this is all just very interesting. But for people like you and me who are into these, this is great for us. So going into packaging, we see that there is a very definitive look for the line. Trying to remember what some of the products look like in the little kids aisle. I think this is like similar packaging design work. Like we know the logo and the green lettering is iconic, but this kind of dull off yellow background I think is in a lot of the other children's product line stuff. I think that's where they're getting that from. The artwork is hard to tell whether this is from something previous or not, but it looks nice and definitely has a retro theme to it. Both have the same logo on the top. On the side, we do get some individualization. Basically, same thing on each side. And then UPCs, if anybody wants that. And it's interesting that there's a call out to explain that Bert's eyebrows can be swapped out. And then on the back, if you didn't pay too much attention, you would think these were shots from the TV show, but it is not. But it is shots of the figures replicating events that happened on the TV show. So that's super cool. Last, these figures do have a opening in the front, and you get to see all the accessories. So let's get these out of the package. So here's what Ernie's contents look like. He does have a little backdrop. The cardboard's kind of thin, but still this would be a good diorama. And you can see all of the accessories he comes with. And here is Bert. He comes with the same diorama that Ernie did. And here is all of his pieces laid out. So let's get them all the way out of the package. So here they are out of the package, and these are pretty amazing in real life. They've done a real good job at simulating different textures, like, you know, the skin areas seem like they're felt. The clothing has texture appropriate for the type of clothing. Even the shoes look like regular shoes that have been worn on the street. It's kind of amazing. Before we get into the figures though, let's go over accessories. So each of them come with a letter, and this is like a running thing in Sesame Street. You know, it was for kids. They are teaching kids how to read and write and count. So there's lots of skits with these letters talking and them interacting with them. Each come with alternate heads, so they have like a not open mouth head, and then they have an open mouth head like they're talking. Bert has this whole thing with his eyebrow being able to be removed. So like in one position it's kind of more upward, but you can flip this around to make him angry, because Bert is often angry about things. Let's flip this the other way. And now he's got kind of a slightly angry expression. Out of the packaging, they kind of have these relaxed hands, and then they have a set of pointing hands each. I think these are like the same. Oh no, okay. Bert's hands are a little bit bigger than Ernie's hands a little bit bigger than Bert. So they each have a pointing hand. They have also a set of grasping hands. So one pointing hand for each hand and one grasping hand each for each side. They both come with some kind of animal themed accessory. So Ernie has his rubber duck, Bert has his pigeon, and then Ernie comes with the painting that you always see, and Bert comes with a lot of stuff. So he's got a book of boring stories. There's a whole gag with that. He's got his bottle cap collection, and he's got his little suitcase of paper clips. So yeah, these guys come with just a ton of stuff. I don't know why Bert comes with more stuff, but either way, very cool. And then for articulation, they more or less have your standard NECA articulation. So head is on a ball joint. The head is going to be restricted because of the sculpt. They're doing things to hide cut lines, and all this stuff kind of gets in the way, but you get good movement. The shoulders are disc hinge. You got single elbow. You're probably going to want to heat these guys up before you start posing them. The hands have these sideways disc hinge with the rotation at the wrist. The clothing is rubber, and you can kind of tell that there is a ball joint in here, but you're not going to be able to manipulate it much. The hips are on ball joints that are on top of a cup. So you have like ball joint motion, and then you have like a thigh swivel around that ball joint. The knees are single joint. The ankles are disc hinge. They're going to be restricted by the sculpt, but there is an inner rocker. So you have really just enough posability to get into some basic poses with the legs. Sitting down might be a bit of a challenge because of how it's all designed. You have to do some clever things to get them to sit down. But definitely everything you need to get in a standing pose, have them hold their accessories and interact with each other. And then going in a little bit more on details, really nice paint overall. This guy does have some weird stuff going on here, but yeah, that's kind of like a factory error. But there is a wash on the jeans. It brings out all the details. The shoes look like they are worn in real life. Like they got that real life grime on the shoes. And then look at Bert's shoes. I mean, his shoes are... Who knew he had shoes like this on? Like, this guy is like into high fashion. It's kind of crazy. Also, you know, he's got the same kind of rubbery overshirt. Yeah, you could force it to get that ab crunch, but it's not really going to happen. And then for comparisons, you know, we don't really have much in the way of like collector themed Sesame Street figures. Just for size and scaling, here is a Hasbro Power Ranger. So that should give you some ideas of how large these guys are. And then here are their Super 7 counterparts. Much more simplified, but you know, that's what you're getting with the reaction. And this can kind of further help show the size difference between the two lines. And then here is a Super 7 Ultimates figure, just to kind of add some more scale comparison. So overall, really great figures. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they put out. Something tells me they're going to mimic the releases of Super 7. At the time of recording, it is Toy Fair, and I believe they revealed Big Bird, who's going to end up towering over these guys. So that's at least a third release that we know is on the way. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, tune into more videos coming up.